When music historians talk about the architects of modern guitar playing, Eric Clapton's name is almost always at the forefront. Rising to prominence in the 1960s, he helped redefine what the electric guitar could express, becoming a central force in both rock and blues. He belonged to a remarkable wave of British musicians who emerged during that decade and reshaped the global soundscape. As Clapton's reputation was already solidifying, another future legend was stepping into the spotlight, Jimmy Page. Page, like Clapton before him, had also passed through the Yardbirds before launching into international fame with Led Zeppelin. Over the years, Clapton has openly shared his thoughts about many contemporaries, and Page has been no exception. Clapton has long admired Page as a guitarist and respected the path he carved, though his personal taste never aligned strongly with Led Zeppelin's music. In his autobiography, he explained that while he held Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page in high regard, he always felt their musical foundation was rooted more in rockabilly, whereas his heart lay firmly in the blues. There was no rivalry, he said, just different musical DNA. But when it came to Led Zeppelin as a band, Clapton was far less enthusiastic. He once recalled seeing them on the same bill in Milwaukee and felt the performance was overwhelmingly loud. He enjoyed certain parts of their material, but felt much of it pushed too hard and exaggerated its point. That sentiment was documented in the Zeppelin biography, The Definitive Biography. Clapton has also commented that Page and other artists carried forward what Cream had introduced in the late 60s, pioneering heavier, more aggressive forms of blues-based rock. He even credited the band Blue Cheer as likely being the true originators of heavy metal, noting their emphasis on sheer volume over traditional blues roots. Despite never being drawn to Zeppelin's catalog, Clapton was certainly aware of their work, especially their enduring classic Stairway to Heaven. He later realized that his own song, Let It Grow, from the 1974 album 461 Ocean Boulevard, unintentionally mirrored some of its musical ideas. He admitted that the resemblance only dawned on him years after writing it, calling it ironic given how critical he had always been of Zeppelin. Clapton described his songwriting approach as intentionally leaving ideas half-formed, allowing collaborators to influence the final outcome. Let It Grow was one such piece, built from small fragments he meant to develop later with his band, only to discover much later how closely it echoed Zeppelin's iconic track. Beyond their shared history with the Yardbirds, Clapton and Page also had an unusual personal link. Both were romantically involved with French model Charlotte Martin. Clapton dated her earlier, and Page later shared a long relationship with her, which resulted in their daughter, Scarlett Page. Even though Clapton frequently stated he wasn't a Zeppelin fan, he and Page did collaborate, both before and after Zeppelin's rise. In 1965, Page co-produced John Mayall recordings featuring Clapton. At the time, an engineer was reportedly frustrated, saying Clapton's tone was impossible to record properly. Page, however, demonstrated exactly how to capture it cleanly. Years later, both guitarists would appear on the 1971 compilation album Guitar Boogie alongside Jeff Beck and members of the Rolling Stones.